The Instigator Hour. All right, and that was 21 Pilots with Shy Away. And that track in particular, I love because it was actually, I was so surprised by that track, especially coming off of the Trench record, right? Was that the one before?
Yes.
Okay, so Trench was super dark and kind of, I would say, what, industrial, for lack of better, like kind of aesthetic term.
For sure, a lot
like,
of black and yeah.
Yeah. And so Shy Away, I guess what you could say was, I don't want to say it was the kind of new synthwave thing, because it wasn't that. I think maybe aesthetically with the pinks and blues, a little bit of that world. But as far as the art direction and aesthetics and stuff, like that to me is like what I have grown to love as like a music maker. Like when you start thinking about release and like, all right, well, how do we present this to the world? That's the fun part. And
Yes.
I don't know, like I've fallen, the indie artist of 2022 has to wear so many different hats. It's not just,
Yes.
and that goes for professional artists and top tier talents too. Like, you know, Tyler, the Creator, I'm sure is sitting there with his creative directors and saying, I'm going to fall backwards into this pit of fire at the VMAs or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much high-minded art. And like when you, to me, when you start thinking about like this art versus commerce and like where they intersect, and the kind of indie punk credo that's like DIY until I die kind of thing, and you know, F the major labels and stuff, like that whole vibe I think kind of misses the forest for the trees or whatever. Like, and I think people in major situations are working just as hard, and there's so much, you just have more access to more tools, more in-house departments, you know, you've got the best creative teams like at your fingertips. It just makes sense to me that if you do get to that point where like you're an indie and you're building all this buzz and fans and like you've got a thing, once you get picked up by a major, the idea to me at least is like, then I can really, you know, sky's the limit kind of thing. We've got the access to all this, you know, all these resources. Please expand
Absolutely,
on that.
yeah.
I'm kind of pulling all of that out of what I assume the world of your world to be. But
Definitely. I always like to think of, you know, the major label world or even indies. You know, I've worked in, you know, both capacities at multiple independent labels, major labels, you know, in various companies. And at the end of the day, for me, I always explain it to, you know, to artists or to whoever that, like you're walking into a building that's just stocked full of people who are experts, people who have been doing their job for, you know, however many years, or people that are hungry and want nothing more than to be in that building and to be helping get music out to fans. And that's why they're there. But yeah, you're plugging into just teams of people who have the experience, like you said, the resources, you know, and what can go in and fight for, you know, for those artists to get opportunities. And, you know, it's really about working with a team of people who can go in and, you know, whether it's going into, you know, a streaming service or, you know, a video network for an award show or touring or, you know, whatever that might be. You know, in my case, the marketing side, building out that plan, the press side and being able to, you know, pick up the phone and call, you know, a late night TV booker and, you know, pitch artists for big features, things like that. But yeah, that's how I always think of it, is that you're walking into, like, you know, think of it as, if you're thinking of it as like a football team, or I'm trying to think of a sports analogy
there's
for some reason.
Oh, for sure. Sports analogies
I don't
for
know
days.
why.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I don't know
Absolutely.
why. I'm not like a sports person expert really.
No,
but,
I'm with you. And I want to interrupt you for a second, just because I feel like as a musician, and most of us like crazy music passionates, like especially the lifers who've been in this forever, find in some capacity. I feel like when we're children, we see the array of, you know, things we can do with our lives. And sports, you know, varying degrees of people that are into sports when they grow up. But like those music people are like, well, I don't want the competition. I don't like the competition aspect of, at least for me. I'm speaking for me now. But the competition was what kind of turned me off to sports. And I devoted myself to music and the arts or whatever. But then what's funny is that the further you pursue that as a career, it just gets to be the most, I don't know if there's any industry that's more cutthroat and competitive than the music industry.
Yeah. Truly. It's scrappy.
Yeah, it is super crazy. There was a quote that I put on social media today. Walter Pater, who said all art aspires to be music. is the to paraphrase, right? Like, and I was like, yeah, no, you're right.
Everybody wants to be a rock star.
Well, right. I mean, and whatever that means nowadays, because it's so, that idea is so shifty. It's hard to lock down. So a couple things before I let you go. Your time is very special and precious, and you've got a lot going on, so I don't want to keep you, but I'm so happy you joined us. Two big things in the music industry that I'm just curious about what your perspective is and what your thoughts are as far as how this affects artists' revenue streams and such in the future. Number one, Epic Games buying Bandcamp, which is a big news item of the past week, as well as TikTok launching their own distribution service. What does this mean?
Yes, that is, you know what? I wish I had like a fantastic in-depth answer for you.
No pressure.
I think, I think the TikTok becoming, their own distribution, so it's very interesting, right? Because it's kind of adds to the, going back to it being a more open level playing field, to where if you've uploaded your own sound to TikTok straight from your bedroom, now maybe you can go and have it reach even further than that on other platforms. So I think that is really interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with that. And then, about Epic buying Bandcamp, I didn't know about that, actually. I hadn't read about that yet.
I mean, I didn't know what Epic was. I'm not a big video game guy, but I guess they're the ones that own Fortnite.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. They've said, I mean, I bring that up because Bandcamp is such a mainstay for indie artists.
Yes.
And, they've basically kind of promised not to change it. Like, they have no intentions of, like, really changing that model, but part of Epic Games, I guess there's a small stake percentage holder of also Spotify in Epic. So, like, I don't know, without mentioning names or brands or whatever, the thing is for me is, like, I'm aware that all these labels have stock ownership in Spotify and different distributors and stuff. Like, so I don't know, that whole world is very messy. I just, again, going back to kind of a Bill Hicks mentality of, like, just not trusting big industry and stuff. I don't know. I have a weird kind of love-hate feeling about the whole thing, but that's why I'm trying to learn as much about it as possible, because when you learn, you realize, like, oh no, everyone's just the same. We're all working towards the same goal here. And
it's, in business, there will always be, companies that merge with other companies or buy other companies. I think any industry you look at, that, that's how things evolve and change and grow. And, I know that a lot of artists, writers struggle with that a lot when it comes to everything, right? From, like, publishing deals to, giving away part of writing credits on a song, or, whatever it might be, or, doing a deal with a label for master ownership and things like that. I think, I think that, man, I could go on about that for a lot, but, like, opening that up to, like, intellectual property as commerce is, like, a whole different thing, right? But yeah, I think I'm excited to see more opportunities, I guess, for, that we're past the days of, like, I always think of Back to the Future, where he's like, that new sound you've been, it's your cousin Marvin Berry. That new sound you've been looking for? Listen to this. Like, we've moved past that. There's no mailing in of demos to a label and hoping someone loves it. It's I think just opening up opportunities for artists, specifically like indie or unsigned, or maybe you're like a 13-year-old kid who, like, has just discovered this whole world of music and you want to make your own and get it out. Like, I just love that there's shortcuts to that now, and that we really do have access to anything and everything at our fingertips that we could possibly need. Even like the world's best art director, right? Like, if you as an artist, I mean, so many things happen through social media too, like
I know. It's
Instagram
crazy.
DMs, Twitter DMs, like, and just saying, like, I love your work. Can I talk to you? Do you like my stuff here? Like, I think what I'm trying to say here is that the hustle is real for everyone across the board, whether you're a multi-gajillion dollar music or video game company, or, if you're a kid just starting out, like, that's really exciting to me. I think that, and this was part of what I was excited about, of, like, marketing during the pandemic time as well, as scary and fucked up and confusing as all, can I say fucked up and confusing as all of that was, but forced us to open up and be creative, and we were all in the same boat. And I think that I think we're going to see that over the next few years, just, like, maximum creativity and people going, oh, well, I didn't have to do it this way for 2 years. So how can I now create that new world?
Yeah, the mold has been broken.
Perfect way of putting it.
We are in this this new post-genre,
Yeah.
kind of everything. You know, it's a new frontier. It's the age of Aquarius. I've been told.
Yes. I love post genre. That's really great.
Post genres, but like,
That's
especially,
so
okay,
true.
All right, so you know, forgive me here, and I'll let you go. But that's been like the credo for my dad rock band. Has been like, okay, so we are literally dads in my band, and you know, we're like Foo Fighters, you know, like we're just kind of a straight up rock band with guitars. But
Love it.
then the pandemic happened, and then it was like no more live, so it was like, all right, we're immediately bored with doing what we did we would do live. So it was like, let's rethink this. And then the post-genre attitude, this like nothing really matters. Like you don't have to pin yourself into this little box anymore. I think the main deal,
absolutely,
is the authenticity factor. So long as you're being authentic to yourself.
I was just about to say that. Yes, you read my mind. That's what it's all about. Like if you're not trying to be someone else,
right.
You know, like you do you. I guess is a really simple way of putting it. But like,
to the point,
you can't fake that. I mean,
to the point about like the uber competitive nature of the industry at large. I think that being said, simultaneously, I think the good artists, from what I've seen in my small kind of time in the industry, was that the good artists and the good-hearted people are the ones that like kind of make it. If you're an asshole, like that, the world is so small in the music community. It's like no one's gonna want to like. And I think the only exception to that rule is maybe Kanye. But like, I just watched the Kanye.
That's a whole other episode.
I can't recommend the documentary enough. It's kind of like,
I haven't seen it yet. That's been on my list forever.
It's like Get Back in the sense of like fly on the wall for the entire span of the career kind of thing. I don't know. It's really good. Anyway, I digress. I could talk to you forever, Katie. This is great.
Yeah, same.
Brings me back to our old industry days, and with South by Southwest happening, I guess, what is it?
Oh,
this week?
That was South by just started.
Yeah,
they're doing it again this year.
So that's the first time since the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
because that was when the pandemic started, and they canceled South by, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, this is real."
When South by got canceled, I remember it was like we all sort of like walked out of our offices in the hallway, and we were like,
"Right."
This is weird.
Yeah.
And then Coachella, and then it was like.
Yeah,
I was just like Homer Simpson gif backing into the bushes.
Yep, perfect.
Where I remain today.
Yep. No, well, I think we're all emerging from the bushes, which is nice. So that's good.
Yes, we're slowly coming out, and I would just say, to get like back on my live music soapbox, but like, yes, go to shows. Go out there, go to shows, see bands, like. I didn't realize how much I needed like the energy and feeling of live music with other humans in a room and just like
it's real.
Loud music. Like it's real, very real.
It's visceral. It's physiological. It's like the whole thing, the actual idea of the energy of airwaves like hitting you.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Yes. So real. And I'm so grateful that it is, back and we can do it safely. And
this is
don't
all
be
great.
afraid to crowd surf.
Yep. Katie, thank you again so much for your time and your insights in all of this
thank
world.
You for having me. It's awesome.
And that has been all. Thank you for listening to the Instigator Hour. We will see you next time. Katie, any final parting words? Any tracks or anything you want to leave us with? Anything fun?
Oh man,
I don't normally give the guest the last word, but I have to because it's just so much fun to chat with you.
I will leave you with this. I'm currently working on setting up a new album from an amazing band.
You can't
four-piece from Hood River, Oregon, named Floor, F-L-O-R.
Just check them out. That dude sounds like the dude from Manchester Orchestra, but over like the 1975.
Ooh. Dude, it's
very cool. I dig it.
They have made my favorite album of, I don't know, they've been working on it for like a year now, so it's easily been my favorite album of the past year. I'm listening to it nonstop. But definitely check out Floor. We have a new song out called Play Along. Yep. And
Hold
just on repeat forever.
My go-to. I like Hold On. Yeah, they're great.
That is such a good one,
They're
too.
really good.
But yes, check out Floor. That's what I will leave you with. This new record's going to hopefully change the world a little bit, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it. So it's my final word for you.
You heard it here first, folks. This has been the Instigator Hour. Katie Robinson, thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
The Instigator Hour.